What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about who you should actually trust online for health and fitness advice. And I will explain why. I'm going to keep it positive, but I am going to talk about some things that need to be talked about. But before we dig in, if you've enjoyed my episode, or my episodes, or my podcast, you've been listening for a while, if you could comment below, share the episode, like the show, rate the show, that just helps me get in front of more people, which helps me help more people, which is the goal of the show. I do what I do because I care and I want to help people because I've been there. I've struggled. And there's a lot of crap out there. And that's why I'm talking about this today. There's a lot of things. I'm not going to call out specific people, but I will talk about things that some people talk about. So if you have seen these people, you might know who I'm talking about. Who should you actually listen to on social media? If you listen to me, that is awesome and I appreciate it. But don't just trust somebody because they're popular. I'm not that popular, so I'm a coach. So that's kind of the number one thing. Are they actually a coach? Do they actually help people? Have they helped people in the past? There are some podcasts out there that are really popular, and they're trainers and coaches that no longer coach people one-on-one, but they've done it for decades. And really the same problems still exist. There's just more complexity with social media and other shit out there now. But is this person a coach? If so, that's awesome. Do they have actual client feedback? Can you look through their social media or website and see that somebody else has sent in a video? Do you know somebody who's worked with them? Are they actually trustworthy? And this is going to be very generalized because it's something that I've noticed. The more popular and famous somebody is, and this is not always the case. I will caveat this is not always the case. They tend to not be doing it always for the right things. And if you've been on social media at all recently and heard about the Epstein file emails that were released and some very popular doctors that were in there, then it gets you kind of thinking. It's like, oh, do these people actually want to help me or do they just want to sell me shit? So that's another red flag, is if this social media person, health guru, is constantly just trying to sell you supplements. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're providing free content and you're selling supplements that you actually use, I've talked about supplements on here. I don't have any sponsors for this show. This is just me doing it of my own free will for fun and to provide more value for my clients and people who follow me on social media who maybe can't afford my coaching. It would be cool if the supplements that I use did pay me to talk about them. I would like that. But if they're constantly pushing supplements or other things, and go back to my supplement episodes, I have a few that talk about things that are actually effective. But if that's what most of what they talk about, or they're pushing some biohacking weird product, like a weighted vest that looks like a vest that you wear all the time, if you know who I'm talking about, I'm sorry. If you don't, you should look it up because it is absolutely absurd. I don't think you need a weighted vest for everything. I think weighted vests can be a cool tool to use to load certain bodyweight exercises that are harder to load, like doing dips. Wearing that thing around your waist is annoying. Same with pull-ups. You know, the belt thing that you hook like a plate to? That sucks. So if you could wear a weighted vest, that would make it easier to load. You don't need to walk around with a weighted vest. You know what's better for bone mineral density? Strength training. So anyway, if they're pushing weird biohacking products, but they don't really talk enough about the basics, like strength training, hydration, protein, fiber, eating whole foods, sleep, daily movement like walking, stress management, probably red flag that maybe you should be a little bit more skeptical of what they say. Because there is value in a lot of these things sometimes. But again, what is this person's agenda? How much money are they making off of these posts? Does this person actually coach people? And from what I've noticed, depending on the coach or the provider or whatever, because even like doctors, there's like really social media famous doctors. I do lab analysis. So like if you don't want one-on-one coaching, you just want me to look at your blood work or Dutch test, GI map, I do that as a separate thing, and I'll give you like a game plan, next action steps for that, to provide you with whatever would help improve whatever is going on. And I met with somebody, and she's working with a very famous influencer hormone replacement therapist. And one, that doctor is dismissing some of her symptoms, does not have the capacity or the time to give her the care that she needs. And that's the other thing. Like, oftentimes those people that are like the face of the business, they're on big podcasts like Mind Pump, Huberman, what's that one? Joe Rogan. Like, if they're high enough to be on one of those, doesn't mean they're not good and you shouldn't listen to them. But it does mean that those people probably have a lot on their plate. This quality of coaching that they do, they probably don't have time to coach anymore. So they might be disconnected from what's actually going on day to day with clients. Or if they are coaching, they might not have the capacity to coach as well as they should, because they have other things to do. They're like the face of the business, right? A lot of them might have coaches under them that are coaching for them. That might be awesome coaches. But again, they're not doing the coaching anymore. So they could be missing the stuff. They could be missing, they might not have time to continue growing and educating themselves. So they could be missing new information that could better service their clients or better help their clients. And the things they talk about might not be as pertinent anymore. Also, if these influencers are like super jacked or like super shredded and all they do is like eat and train and do social media and do marketing and show up on other podcasts and they're face of a business, it's like what works for them is not realistic for most people. Like, most people don't need a weighted vest. Most people don't need some crazy cool supplement stack. Most people just need better habits, more consistency, a training routine that is effective, that fits their lifestyle. Better stress management techniques, better quality sleep, more protein, more fiber, more fruits and vegetables. So that's also why it's like these people are on their own little island, right? And they don't see what normal people struggle with day to day because their lives are so removed from what is standard, and they're not in a position to where they can coach people like they used to be able to. So for them, what works for them or what they talk about, the supplements that they push or whatever, it's not going to be as applicable than as a coach who works with everyday people. So what should you look for when you're trying to follow fitness advice? Well, one, if a coach makes you feel bad, as I talked about in the last couple episodes, unfollow them. A coach should not make you feel bad. And your mood affects your body. So if you're following some influencer who makes you feel bad because you don't run through pain or train 2 hours every day, or beat your body up for like mental endurance, you don't need to do any of that shit. But two, it's like it's probably not valuable to follow them if they're making you feel bad. Like mood is important, and mood affects your mental health, which affects your physical health, which affects your ability to follow through on the thing. So if somebody's making you feel bad, unfollow them. Usually, if they have a smaller following, might be a couple thousand, might be in the hundreds. I'm not quite at 1,000 yet. If you have any friends who could use my advice, that would be cool. Bump me up there. Then I can do lives again. You have to have 1,000 followers. I'm like at 986. I just need 14 people, y'all. But if they're not at, or if they're in the thousands, they're providing valuable content daily. It's not super crazy edited. You can see that they've coached people or that they are coaching people. They talk about coaching people. Probably going to be a great follow, especially if the advice they're giving is very valuable and it's very realistic and reasonable. Like again, most people aren't going to sign up for a 100-mile race. Most people don't need to train every day. Most people don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. and have a perfect morning routine to get their stuff done. So think about like, is this stuff realistic? Can I like do these things? Are these things helpful to me? Does this person make me feel good? That means they're probably a valuable follow. And if you're one of my clients or you follow me on social media and you're like, is the stuff this person's saying, is it actually valuable? Would it actually be worth my time to follow through on? I can give you feedback. Because again, the unfortunate thing I will say is the person who is very famous, who was in those fancy emails, a lot of the stuff that he did talk about, there was some value in it. But again, he had another agenda. So, and there's a lot of people out there that do. A lot of people like fame. They like getting recognized. They like that. That's what they worship. That's what they want out of life, right? So put that through that lens too. Like, does it seem like this person is doing this because they actually care? Does this person coach people? Is the stuff they're providing like valuable and reasonable and realistic and doesn't cost an arm and a leg to do? That's the other one. If everything they're pushing costs you more and more money, red flag. But anyway, that is all I have for today. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you're following people and you're like, is this person actually worth the salt to follow? Let me know. There might be people that I follow so I know what's going on. So maybe not everybody I follow would be a good follow. But for the most part, if they're coaches and I'm following them and their follower count is under a certain threshold, like if it's below probably 5,000 followers and I'm following them and they're a coach, probably a great follow. But if they're like have a lot of followers and they're really up there, it depends, is what I'll say. It depends on the person. Sometimes I follow things just to be in the know, so I can know what weird information is being pushed out there. But anyway, let me know if this was helpful. And if it was, please share the show, rate the show, subscribe. Just helps me get in front of more people, which helps me help more people, which is the goal of the show. So anyway, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.